Hey guys, and welcome back to another Lake of the Woods and More fishing report. Nothing more to explain this day than just cold, wind, and looks like hopefully this will be the real last cold snap of the year. We've had it pretty good this winter. It's not been real bad, but it's just getting old. I think hopefully a lot of you guys can identify with me in saying that spring just can't come soon enough. I'm looking forward to getting the boat in the water, but there is a lot of ice fishing left. There's a lot of tip-up fishing yet to come, and that's a really good time of year. I know Minnesota's going to close here on the 28th for walleyes for most places, but Lake of the Woods is still going to be open. Devil's Lake is still open, and there's still a lot of fishing opportunities. Let's start out this week going out to Bry's Guide Service out in Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Been some weather issues the past week, some wind, some snow. Mark says they really haven't had a big snow since about December, but apparently they've gotten some new snow out there. He said for traveling, you're still going to need tracks. We got, this warmer weather coming up. We had some of the snowpack kind of settle some, but he says we've got a little ways to go yet before we're going to be able to drive around with wheeled vehicles. They were hoping it was going to be a little bit sooner, and then this cold snap came along and delayed things a little bit. Now, as far as perch fishing, Mark said he'd really describe it right now as grindy. Moving around in a lot of mud basins, trying to locate large groups of perch. They're doing that with aggressive baits, and once they're locating fish, then they're switching over to the smaller tungstens and waxworms and spikes and such, and catching some numbers of perch. But it's just locating them, getting on them, and staying on them is the issue right now. The places that they've been really looking at right now: Creel Bay, East Bay, 6 Mile Bay, and East Devil's Lake. 35 to 50 feet of water or so is kind of your starting point. When you're locating them, they are in good numbers. Mark says the walleye bite is finally starting to pick up a little bit. Fish are a little more aggressive. The bite still is best morning and late afternoon into the evening, but the daytime bite is starting to pick up, and as daylight increases here, we have longer days. That should continue to be the case. He says when they are targeting walleyes, more active baits, your rip and wraps, slab wraps, jig and wraps, war pigs, things of that nature, that's what they're targeting walleyes with right now. If you're looking to get out on Devil's Lake on a snow bear trip, also to check out the walleye rehab, a good place to stay when you're out there. And if you're out on Devil's Lake and need bait, beer, tackle, propane, gas, convenience store items, make sure you check out Ed's Bar and Bait. So staying on Devil's Lake, Mike Peluso's Outdoors and Guide Service. Walleye bite is becoming more consistent, so he's kind of mirroring what Bry's Guide Service says. Morning and night still the best, but that daytime bite is starting to pick up. They are focusing for walleyes right now on the old shoreline structure and some mid-lake humps. They are catching some walleyes with some small jigging spoons. Just kind of depends on what the walleyes want. You can try minnow bodies and just try minnow heads too. Both will work, just on when the walleyes are a little bit more finicky. Maybe that smaller presentation will be a little bit better. Now, as far as perch, they're running into perch typically 35 feet of water or more, so Mike says make sure you keep what you catch. Barrow trauma is an issue with those perch. Barrow trauma is an issue with walleyes too, so just be mindful of that. Now, when you're targeting these perch, Mike's been using those smaller tungsten jigs, waxworms, and spikes. So the weather, kind of up and down the last few days is you just got to go out and see what's going on. Still travel track only. And that's kind of the same thing that Bryce said. Hopefully a couple weeks, a little bit warmer weather, that snow will settle down and guys will be able to get out in a wheeled vehicle and do some ice fishing. We still got some ice fishing left, but if you're looking for some open water adventures out in eastern North Dakota, Missouri River, Lake Sakakawea, Mike Peluso does a lot of trips out there in the spring, so make sure you check out Mike Peluso's Outdoors and Guide Service. Moving up to Lake of the Woods, talked to Wes Harder over on the west side of Lake of the Woods. Said this past week it's been tougher. He said it's been kind of tough all winter, marking a lot of fish. He said those fish are there, just getting them to bite has really, really been challenging. He says those fish are very tight-lipped and they're very, very close to bottom. Wes says he's noticed that on the colder, cloudier days, seems like the bite is a little bit better. He says electronics are not a must, but they are very, very helpful. You're going to be able to see some fish, and especially if you're using a live scope, that's going to help you out tremendously. A lot of guys don't want to spend that much money, but it is a very effective tool. And he said as far as baits, really the best thing right now has been a rattle reel, number 3 Gamakatsu hook, and a chub minnow. He says it seems like the more aggressive you get, it just turns those fish off, and that's just kind of has been the trend here the past couple of weeks. If you're looking to get out on Lake of the Woods, rent a sleeper house or a day house. Very, very nice houses, good customer service. Wes will do everything in his power to make sure you have a good time out on the ice on Lake of the Woods. You're looking to get up on a Lake of the Woods, out of the West End, out of War Road, make sure you get in touch with Wes Harder's Guide Service. And rounding out the report, let's go over to the southeast side of Lake of the Woods, over to Baudette, and check in with Marshall Monk from Lake Road Lodge.
Hey everybody, this is Marshall with Lake Road Lodge and your southeast portion of Lake of the Woods fishing report for this week. Fishing last week was a little bit tough on us. The cold front didn't help anything for us. I had the guys that work hard every day, moving houses again. We're trying to get up on that little bit more gravel, rock stuff now, which is out of the mud. We're going to give that a try for this week. Electronics are really important right now. There are a lot of suspended fish. The fish are lethargic. It's the middle of February. I think everybody knows, it's that dead of February isn't always the greatest fishing. We have some availability for this weekend and the first part of next week. If you want to give us a call, it'd be great. Tight lines.
All right, that's the information that I have for you this week. Sunday does mark the closing of fishing season on a lot of bodies of water in Minnesota for certain species, but a lot of lakes are still open. Like I said, Lake of the Woods, Devil's Lake, basically all of North Dakota as far as I'm aware of. Just check your local regs and rules. Thank you guys so much for checking out the fishing report. We will be back next week with another one. Hope you guys can get out and enjoy God's great outdoors, and we'll see you on the next one.